to Newcastle, where the Mayor Ntuthuko Mahlaba is promising to keep the lights on. Despite a hefty Eskom bill, the municipality owes the utility over 200 million rand. It has succeeded in interdicting against power cuts for now. For more on this, let's bring in KwaZulu-Natal Cooperative Governance spokesperson Lennox Mabaso. He joins us now from our Durban studio. Lennox, good evening to you. Thank you for your time. Let's begin with the obvious question of how the Newcastle municipality got to 200 million rand worth of Eskom debt in just over 2 years.
Well, you'll be aware that the challenges that municipalities are facing across the country, not only in Newcastle, they arise from the socio-economic challenges that we face as a country. You know, we've got the stubborn unemployment situation, we've got the sluggish economy, and that has got a cascading effect to household affordability in a number of areas. But on the Newcastle situation, we can breathe a sigh of relief that through the work of the Mayor, the Councillor Dr. Ntuthuko Mahlaba, the municipality has been able to avoid the power interruption, at least in as much as it is a temporary relief. But what has happened is that the court interdict that has been granted allows an opportunity for the municipality and Eskom to discuss the payment plan that the municipality has put forward, which is an affordable payment plan on the side of the municipality, and also to ensure that we do not have any power interruptions which will have a catastrophic impact on the economy. We all share a common objective with Eskom to ensure that the power supply in Newcastle is not disrupted as we are hard at work to grow the economy of Newcastle and the country as a whole.
You speak about socio-economic factors as the main reason, at least according to your version tonight, for this lack of payment. What are the numbers? How many people in Newcastle are simply unable to pay because of a lack of jobs and poverty, and how many are simply not paying, as we've seen in other areas, because they don't want to?
Well, we do have a challenge of businesses that are owing the municipality. We do have a challenge of a household that can afford, that are not paying electricity for various reasons. But we do have a serious challenge of people who either have been laid off work and they were ratepayers, but all of a sudden, because of the situation they find themselves in, as I alluded to earlier on, they are unable to pay for services. But we continue to advise people to say, you can't sit and say, I can't afford to pay electricity. You have an obligation to the municipality, because municipalities operate on the user pay system. These problems are not induced by the municipality, but they are as a result of us as consumers of these services not paying for them, because municipalities are buying electricity from Eskom and therefore giving me as an end user, as a citizen. So I must be able to pay for what I use. But when people are unemployed and they are laid off, they then tend to have a challenge of being able to pay.
Okay.
But that cannot be an excuse, because government has got what is called an indigent program, so people can apply to an indigent. If I may also indicate that, you know, the challenge that municipalities are facing, Eskom also faces the same challenge in their own supply areas. There are areas that are supplied by Eskom, where Eskom is under collecting also because of the similar challenges of socio-economic situation that we are facing. But the same challenge that Eskom face in their areas of supply are the same challenges that municipalities will face in their areas of supply. So we have to work together with Eskom to ensure that we keep the lights on in all these areas across the country, while also ensuring that the power utility also is not being milled dry and eventually collapses. So we have a huge campaign that will be launching as the province under MEC Potlomuga, MEC for Copter, to persuade residents to pay for services. The Masakani campaign is going to be launched very soon, where people are going to be encouraged to pay and make to understand how important it is to pay for services.
Allow me to come in there, because that doesn't really answer the question I posed to you about how many people in Newcastle are indigent and how many are not paying because of a culture of non-payment. Because surely you need to understand those figures in order to adequately address the problem, do you not?
Well, as you know that if you are familiar with the background of Newcastle, it's usually a town that used to be sustained by coal mining. and there's been a decline in terms of the coal mining that used to be a key source of employment in the area. So you have well over 65% of the people that are currently unemployed. Actually, if you have observed the situation there, there's been a tectonic shift of a number of people who have moved from the town, the urban centers, and moved back to the areas under traditional leadership, back in the township, back in the rural areas, because of the issues of affordability, because all of a sudden they found themselves unemployed, and they are looking for areas where they will not be able to pay for services and rates and pay affordable power, and have other options of power, including wood and so forth. That's as a result of the socio-economic situation. So we've got quite a number of people that are largely indigent in that particular area, and it means that the areas where the municipality used to get a lot of revenue out of the services, some of the properties are empty, and some of them people cannot afford to pay. But that does not take away the fact that there are people that can afford, there are businesses that are owing. We encourage them to ensure that they honor their obligations, they don't take advantage of the situation, and we even say even those who cannot afford to pay electricity, citing the socio-economic challenges that I've alluded to, you don't sit at home. You need to go and apply through the indigent register of the municipality and then be assessed, so that you can also qualify for free basic electricity and free basic water. You cannot just sit at home and say, I cannot afford to pay, and it ends there. You have an obligation to ensure that we sustain the services in the municipality by paying for them as we use them.
Your department, Cooperative Governance, then having been in talks with Treasury and the Newcastle municipality. What is the payment plan now?
Well, as the mayor of Newcastle, Dr. Ntuthuko Mahlaba, supported by the Department of Culture under MEC Siphohlomuka and the Provincial Treasury under MEC Ravi Pillay, there is a payment plan which I can't disclose it in terms of details at this point in time, because I have to respect the fact that we are engaged in serious discussions with the power utility Eskom. Of course, once all has been agreed upon, we are going to be able to make it public, because all what we are doing is in the public interest. But I can indicate to you that the municipality under Dr. Mahlaba has put forward an affordable payment plan by the municipality, and we have a commitment to ensure that we honor our obligations to Eskom, in as much as all of us have to work together to mobilize society to pay for services so that they can be provided in a sustainable manner, and we can have the lights on so that we can continue to attract investment and grow the economy of the province and the economy of the country.
Okay, Lennox, thank you so much for your time tonight.